no! Pick up baby bird. I hope it doesn't want me to... Ah! Don't look! Don't look! Hey, why am I not looking? What's happened? Have I fainted? It was all that stress from a dead bird. Let's begin! In Falcon Age, you raise a bird and go on an adventure to bring down an evil company that are taking over for land with machines. You do this by taking over their outpost. You can choose to play the game in one of two modes. One has combat and the other has optional combat. You can use the DualShock controller or two move controllers. There is teleportation and free movement, and you can adjust movement speed and turning speed. There is also snap turning and free turning, so options wise, the game has something for every gamer. The only issue I faced with the movement in the game is when I ascended stairs. Sometimes I would stop, almost like I hit an invisible wall. A quick backstep does resolve this issue though. The main appeal of this game is obviously having a falcon by your side, and it controls brilliantly. To make it land on your arm, you bring your hand up to your face and press the T button to whistle, and then your falcon will gracefully land on your arm. Not only is this calling responsive, but when perched, the bird actually reacts to your head movements and also your touch. It's quite realistic, and the first time you play with him is certainly a VR moment to remember. The game begins with you in a prison, and this is where the main mechanics of the game are explained to you, so it does serve as the tutorial. Once you escape, you are quickly greeted by your auntie, who sends you off on your first adventure into the main world, and the game properly begins. The connection you have with your bird really is the main focus of the game, and you really do depend on each other for a number of things. You will work together to reach items. Simply pointing and selecting something that is high up will make your falcon collect it for you. He can then either land on your arm to pass it to you, or you can raise your hand in the air to make him drop it down, which makes the passing process much quicker. All of the items are stored in your pouch on your waist. You can physically put them in there, or you can simply drop them on the ground to make them magically bounce inside, which makes playing seated a possible option. You can get your falcon to hunt, and when he does catch his prey, the fight is quite comical to watch, as he smacks it about with his wings. Doing this will reward you with meat, which you can then combine with other vegetables to make a snack for your bird. New recipes can be found throughout the world, and following one of these will give the snack increased effects, like extra defense for your bird and quicker health regeneration. Vegetables can be found in the world, but you can also grow them, which makes gathering them in large quantities for recipes so much easier. When it comes to combat, you both take turns at attacking. For example, the falcon can stun enemies that are flying, which then allows you to finish them off on the ground with your baton. Your baton also comes equipped with a whip that can lock onto enemies that are close to you. Not only is it good for pulling enemies towards you, but it can also be used to stop an enemy from shocking you. You also have to protect your pet from machines that fire darts at him. If you don't destroy one of these and your bird gets hit, darts will stick into him and you must pull them out. You do feel quite bad for letting him be harmed, especially as his feathers are ruffled and the dart still squirts liquid when it's removed. Certain enemies are weak to the falcon attacks, and some are weak to yours, and some even have armour on that must be chipped away at by you first before your bird can deal the final blow. The back and forth between you two really does make you feel like you're a team, but unfortunately the combat isn't really too engaging, and when I reached about halfway through the game, I realised there wasn't a real reason to make snacks for the bird, as healing him with your hand was enough to get him back on his feet. This actually destroyed so many systems in the game for me, as I didn't need to hunt for meat, I didn't need to look for or grow vegetables, and I obviously didn't need to cook. You don't even really need to engage in combat at all, as when you enter one of the outposts, you can simply run past all the enemies and destroy the machine to capture it. It's a shame that this is possible, even in the combat mode. The game has quite a big world for you to explore. It's not completely open world though, it's split into sections. Some sections are blocked off until you obtain a certain item, so it's a relatively linear experience. Now there is quite a bit of backtracking in the game, and this is when the world does feel a bit empty. It's fun to explore for the first time, as you may come across a new creature to hunt, and you're also engaged with scanning the environment for hidden pouch, which rewards you with the game's currency. But second journeys through it, just to get to the next objective marker, can be a bit tedious. On the plus side though, there isn't any loading times in this part of the game, apart from the beginning and ending. When interacting with characters in the game, you are usually presented with some dialogue options, so you are able to give the character you play as a bit of your own personality. When talking to people, your bird will land on something nearby and listen. It's a nice little touch that makes your connection with your feathery friend even more consistent in the actual world. It's a good idea to talk to every character you meet too, as this is how side quests and minigames are given to you. The side quests usually come in the form of fetch quests, but the minigames are a bit more unique. One has you dropping bombs with your bird, and another has you playing golf. To play golf, you must use your whip. The further you are away when you pull the ball, the further it will travel. But it really felt like it was going where I intended it to, resulting in the game being more frustrating than fun. Which was a shame, as this optional minigame appears more than once in the game, and it would have been a great and welcome distraction if it had worked properly. Completing these optional missions usually rewards you with either an item that you can give to your bird to play with, or a piece of clothing that you can dress him up in. Some are for show only, but some do have actual benefits, like a leather hat, which gives your bird extra armor, or a metal beak, which gives your bird extra attack power. There's also a shop where you can buy more items and clothing from, but if you plan on getting everything in the game, be prepared to do some grinding to sell items for money, as the shop's prices are a little high. Graphically, the game looks decent. There isn't pro support, so the game's texture detail only really shines when something is very close to you, like your bird, or when you hold something from your inventory. When an object is close though, they do show a lot of attention to detail. As you wander through the world, you will notice grass expanding in the distance, but popping on other objects does also become more frequent towards the end of the game. It wasn't massively overwhelming, but it is certainly noteworthy. It took me around 3.5 hours to beat the game, but I did dabble in the side quests and minigames, so if you simply focus on the main story, it can certainly be done quicker. The game's trophies will keep you busy for a little longer though, and it does come with a platinum. Some will unlock as you progress through the story, but most notable are the ones that are tied to the items you can buy, and you will need to cook certain snacks, and you will need to complete the minigames. The hardest one here is for getting par or better in the golf game. It will likely be a frustrating one to get, but overall it is a brilliant list, as it covers everything the game has to offer and also includes some extra little challenges. This game really was a rollercoaster of emotions for me. At times I was absolutely loving it. The beginning in the prison really gives the impression that it's going to be a solid experience throughout, and when I first met and played with the bird, it was certainly a VR gaming moment I'll remember forever. I love being able to interact with AI in VR in new ways, and this game absolutely achieves that. It really is a step forward in terms of interaction. But the more I played, the more I realised that certain systems could be ignored, and the enemy AI could be easily avoided. The world was fun to explore for the first time, but the backtracking really shows how empty the world is. It's just the little things, like the majority of loot being found in the same copied and pasted little hut, that just hurts the exploration side. I quite often felt underwhelmed on my journey, and the ending of the game really didn't help matters at all. The Falcon really is the highlight of the game, and obviously it should be. Dressing him up and giving him toys is fun to see, but just like the hunting, it doesn't hold your attention for too long at all. Overall, Falcon Age has a great companion mechanic that is let down by an average world and adventure.
Proceed to reorientation.
What? Look at that, I'm moving my head. What? Up, down, whoa. Kieran, it's not the same thing. I really hope we see the bird mechanic explored more in the future, as there is truly something special here. The other parts of the game though, just need that little extra bit of spice to make it an engaging experience throughout. As always, if you found this review helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more PSVR content.